Okay, in this session, we have to understand another core concept about the curl utility we are using mostly to troubleshoot our SSL based URLs for some web services testing, for some API testing. So we are getting issue with the SSL certificate, and especially when those SSL certificate are locally signed. So we will understand how on Linux we are using this utility for the troubleshooting and how we can fix the certificate authority related issues. So for this reason, what I did, I have already set up this domain controller, and this video you can say is a continuity of the previous video where we set up the certificate authority in our pre-installed domain controller. So just let me go through with everything we had already. So here we set up the certificate authority, and in MMC, this certificate authority we created the templates, and we issued some certificates, and for to create the certificates we use this MMC console. Okay, so here under the personal we have certificates, and we issued these two certificates. So what I am going to do, I mean, this certificate in previous video we understand how to convert public and private key, and we also set up this server that is running a website on Nginx container, and we offloaded its SSL certificate in Nginx proxy manager, and this is the console of Nginx proxy manager where we upload this SSL certificate of the local signing authority, and I create a proxy host with this domain name, and that is pointing to our container, and we discussed everything in detail in previous video. So now we have to understand how we can access this URL in some Linux machine, because as a development engineer, you need to test sometime, I mean, within the cluster or outside the cluster from the container to the accessibility of some API or some web service. So when I click here, so it when I open this URL on the browser, it's showing me the certificate is not trusted, because we discussed this also in detail in previous video, and we go in advance and we accept the risk and website is open. But how this activity we can do in Linux machine? So this is not a difficult job, but we have to understand some concept. So what I did, this is my web server and a reverse proxy server, and this is another Ubuntu server, and I set the the DNS of this server to the domain controller so that I can reach the URL that I am trying to access from the another server that is now offloading the SSL certificate. And from this server, when I am doing the curl to this URL, so here you can see the curl is done. It's trying to connect to port 443. It's connected. There is no network connectivity issue. Okay, and the CA file, it's tried to search from this CA location database, and from this path. But here you can see the error, the proxy exception is unable to get local issue certificate. The certificate that is associated with this URL is not recognized by any online signing authority, because this machine is just looking for some online signing authority, but this machine don't know, same like we did in previous video about the SSL certificate signed by the local certificate authority. So now what's the issue? The curl failed, verified the legitimacy of the server, and therefore could not establish a secure connection to it. Okay, so now how we can fix this issue? Just to test the connectivity and just to add the exception of this certificate, just like we did in our browser from the Linux machine, we can use the -k switch to -k mean insecure, mean accept whatever certificate is coming, don't worry. So -k when I did, we can see its page is successfully loaded. You can see this Nginx page is loaded, and here let me show you again. It's trying to connect everything same, and here SSL connection. Okay, this encryption method is used, and this is very important thing that you have to understand, that is a server certificate, mean this domain certificate. This is the starting date, this is the expiry time of this certificate, and who is issuer. So issuer is DevOps server 01CA that we use here. This is our certificate authority. So this issuer issued the certificate, but this issuer is not recognizable by this Linux machine or container from wherever you are trying to do the curl. Okay, and then what happened? Certificate is accepted, and then everything is done, and we can reach the this API or some web service, whatever it is. By command line, we use -k, but when you are writing some application that need to access this API, that application cannot do insecure. The application will give you the error that I cannot reach to this URL. And when you will dig down into the logs of the application, you will see the almost same error like this I showed you. So what is the solution now? The simple solution is we have to make aware this container or this server that is trying to access this URL that there is another certificate authority that you don't know, and we want to inform you about this certificate authority. So I wrote in the video description all these details. So most Linux systems store trusted CA in combined file. If you are using Debian, Ubuntu, it's in this file. If you are using Red Hat RPM based distribution, it's at this location, and if Arch Linux, at this location. So right now what OS I am using to do the curl, it's Ubuntu. Okay, it's mean this file does contain all the certificate authority related information. Let me just do a cat, or just do a more to this file. Okay, this file does exist, and you can see this. There are different certificate authorities. Certificates are available here. In fact, these are all the certificates so far published on certificate authority so far working on the internet. And there is a command update CA certificate if there is some new signing authority mean appear on the internet and this file does not contain its information. You can run this command and it will update uh, the new certificate authority, but so far nothing is added, nothing is removed. Okay, and if I do the curl, And I'm using -v because -v will help you to show you what is happening on the back end, what error are coming. Otherwise, without -v, you cannot see what is the issue. So HTTPS, for example, I am going to do www.google.com. So, sorry, the spell is wrong. This domain name was wrong. So when I did the curl to google.com, it works perfectly fine. And here you can see it's trying to connect this IP because my machine is connected in the internet. And here the server certificate is working perfectly fine. Certificate verify, okay. And who is the signing authority of the certificate that we used is google.com. Okay, this one, Google Trust Service organization actually signed this certificate, and our system knows very well about this certificate because of this file that I showed you. Okay, so now before resolving our local issue that we found in our local hosted domain, I will show you. But before that, I need to clear you something uh, else. This command we can use. This command we can use openssl to list down all the certificate authority known by this server. Okay, so this is the same file, but here I will add print. I want to decrypt the each certificate in human readable format. So here you can see these are all the certificate authorities that are well known, and like I do grep-i google.com Google. So these are the trusted certificate authority by Google. Just like we have GoDaddy, yes, GoDaddy is here. It VeriSign, we VeriSign is also a certificate authority, and there is just like DG-cert, yeah, DG-cert. So all these are all some well-known that I know so far to sign the certificate. So all the websites that are signed by these certificate authority that are listed here, we can easily browse without any issue. Okay, so now we have to understand what is the solution of the problem we are getting. So we are having this curl issue to this local URL, local sign certificate. So the solution is we have to provide this system the certificate authority in the same file so that system will understand our certificate. So what is the way to get the certificate? First of all, I will go to my certificate authority and I will uh, export the certificate of my certificate authority. So with the same method we can export. I'm just putting some password. So we did this exercise on in our previous video in detail, just like uh, DevOps VUC and PFX file it will create, and it's exported on the desktop. So now I will take this file to my Linux machine. I will extract with the same method. I will just get the uh, public certificate to publish in my Linux machine. Okay, so I upload this download that certificate from my Windows server, and I upload in the temp directory of the same server where I am getting SSL exception issue. So this is the pfx file, and we will run this command to extract the public certificate from this file. So here we will use DevOps VUCA, and just the name of the file is certificate, and this certificate file is created. And normally we can just copy this certificate on Windows and double click, and we can see how this certificate looks like. But in Linux, if you want to view the what is actually this certificate is for, and what is the lifetime, and so here is all, there are all the information that this is for. This is signed from this signing authority. So, and this is the expiration. We signed this for 5 years. So everything in detail is given here. Okay, now we have to publish this exported certificate in our Linux machine. So new certificates in list path and then update the CA database. So in Debian, this is the location. In Red Hat, RPM based and ARC, these are the different locations where we can put our customized certificate authorities, certificates, and CP certificates. And I just copied this file here, and then I just need to run the same command that I ran, update CA certificate, and now I will run the same command to look into DevOps. So you can see here, now in our system, this signing authority is certificate authority is registered. So now when I will do curl to my test SSL, so without any certificate exception, same like Google, it's working. So here you can see the SSL certificate verify. Okay, no exception is added. Certificate authority is well known for us, and this is working perfectly fine. So now if from your container some locally signed uh, application you are using, so with this way you can access it. It can be within your cluster, it can be outside the cluster, or it can sometimes it's also happen that on public internet some certificates are locally signed due to some security reasons, so they will give you the private certificate so that you can access their uh, web services. So I hope you got the idea about all this stuff we discuss here. You understand these command line tools, and I will recommend to please go through with the previous video so that you will get the idea how certificate authorities are working.